What's up, guys? I got an RU match for you against a guy by the name of Joshua Munoz. I think his name was on the stream when I asked him for an alternate name. He was like, no, that's okay. Just use my first and last name. I was like, shit. Okay, whatever. Anyways, RU match. I'm just now noticing the huge problem I have with stealth rocks and rock type moves in general. I have 3 rock weeks, having 2 bugs and an ice type, and this is actually going to rear its ugly head into play later on in the game. But at the beginning, I'm not really proud of how I played in the beginning because I was playing really fucking obvious. It was just one of those days where, you know what, it doesn't really work out. So he's going to lead off with Primeape. I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Spec Galvantula. And I know he does have a Uxie, but he's also got some other shit, so I figure I'll just go for a Thunder. I'm not really safe in going for either my Thunder or my Bug Buzz owing to the good defense he has going on with Lantern and Moltres, being able to take both of my stabs, be immune to one, and then take the other one just like a freaking champ. So go for a Specs Thunder. He's probably assuming just based on the damage that I am Specs. Otherwise, he would have just ended up staying in and taking a Bug Buzz, but because he didn't see life, but recoil, that was a pretty reasonable play to make, and it turns out he just ends up absorbing that, so hey. This one I deemed kind of obvious, but at the same time it was like, you know, I didn't really want to switch out to something slow to take the Scald in case he didn't predict it. I didn't really have a peg on his playstyle yet, but he's playing pretty good. I'm just playing like shit. So, yeah, I'm really not going to try to make any more excuses for that anymore. But he turns out in a Primeape. I'm going for the Lovely Kiss, and that was kind of obvious too. So it was like just obvious play after obvious play on my behalf. But I did end up missing the Lovely Kiss, so it's not like his Vital Spirit even activated, but there's that. So now that I finally get to a spot where I'm kind of okay with not getting out-predicted 100% of the time, I get to bring in my Life Orb Nidoqueen in on whatever the hell he's going to send in after the U-turn. So he goes for sub, thinking I'm probably going to end up setting up the Stealth Rocks or some hazards. This is a fully offensive Nidoqueen, and if you guys are familiar with the bulk that Bouffalant has for itself, then you're going to understand what the hell's going on here. That crit absolutely did not matter, and I'm going to show you why. He's probably thinking that he can take this hit reasonably well. I don't take him out, and I know because that's not a stab Earthquake, and I'm at like damn near full HP. If not full HP, I wasn't really keeping track, but I should be able to take it, and I do take it with a pretty reasonable chunk. And this Earth Power does like, Jesus, man, that's like 60-70%, I want to say, like really easy. So doesn't take him out. I do want to save this thing for switch fodder, and or maybe even being able to get some use later. Now, I hear I make a stupid play. I assume that everybody's Bouffalant is going to be the same as mine, because mine actually doesn't carry Stone Edge. I carry Mega Horn because it's got Sap Sipper, and it's nice for the grass switch-ins, that kind of shit, which is why I Swords Dance in front of his face and just end up eating a copious amount of shit as he goes for the Stone Edge. So I completely forgot these things carried that. All I was really familiar with was Earthquake, Head Charge, Swords Dance, and I kind of assumed right there that just because he had sub, he was only going to have 2 attacks. He's going to have Swords Dance 2, but that kind of factored into that, and I didn't actually think he was going to end up having all 3 of those coverage moves. So there's that, but I am able to go for the Bug Buzz on the switch because it's going to reasonably pick off anything. His Uxie could have ended up being switch fodder depending on how much the Thunder ended up doing if I went for it, but now that the Uxie is out of the way, I mean, not like Uxie was really gonna take either of those 2 hits fairly well. He can go into his Moltres knowing that I'm locked in on Bug Buzz, and now I have to go out into something to die, just to get a safe switch into my Druddigon, because I don't want him going for Air Slash on that thing or whatever, but you know, taking an extra one, then I need to. But he goes for Fire Blast, missed it the first time. Not that it really matters, because he's just going to end up taking me out with the second one. Paralyzed Jinx is not a good Jinx. And then I learned later that his Primeape is Scarfed, I believe, so there's not really anything I can do with Jinx in this match anyways, besides put something to sleep, but as long as he keeps switching in Primeape, it's just not going to get much use. So, decide to go out into Druddigon, and I get the Glare off. This is a nice little set by the name of Sub Glare, Dragon Claw, and Dragon Tail. It's meant for having hazards out, because then you can just get behind the sub, and it kind of works like Kyurem Black and OU is right now on Zed's video. If I were to run a Kyurem Black set, I would probably be running that Sub Hone Claw set. Maybe Druddigon could do it too. I don't know. I'm just running Sub Glare and Dragon Tail because it does get access to Glare, and you can just kind of parashuffle. It's kind of nice. So he goes for an Ice Beam. I'm going to go for Dragon Tail right here, phase him out of here, and depending on what he goes into, I'm just going to go ahead and deal with it accordingly. But I bring in the Bouffalant. I'm pretty sure I can take this thing on one-on-one, owing to the amount of HP that it's at, and my defensive investment, which I think is max, maybe not max HP, I don't know. I definitely have some HP investment, and I definitely have some defensive investment. I'm not sure if it's max on both, because I just pulled this thing from the database, but it's good enough in this situation. So he's going to go for a sub, and not really going to work out for him. He was probably expecting me to glare. I'm just looking at chipping away some of his HP. So goes for a head charge. This does a lot of damage to me. I was actually kind of surprised to see. Well, actually not that much. Okay, whatever. Now, what I was not expecting here is that he was going to kill himself off to the head charge, recoil, and the rough skin. I thought he was going to be left with like 1 HP, which kind of leaves room for a play I could have made right here, and then I could have gone for the sub since my Dragon Claw just ended up missing, period. Lantern would have come in, and I could have gotten an extra chunk on it with, I don't know, say like Dragon Claw, or just shuffled it out even more. Instead, I got to go out to Nidoqueen in his fodder, and then go into something else. Now, because he's paralyzed, I do feel like it's a pretty good opportunity to go into my Bouffalant right here. And going back on what I was saying earlier, if I did make the sub and then go for the Dragon Claw or Dragon Tail, whatever the hell I wanted to at the time, this Earthquake would have knocked out, and then I would have ended up taking extra Volt Switch damage. But it's not like it really ends up mattering too much in the next couple of turns. It does lead for a pretty scary scenario in like the next, I think this next turn after he sends this thing in. But I get kind of scared by this thing because I didn't know it was Specs at the time until he hits me with the Fire Blast. And I can only reasonably assume that it's Specs just because of how much his Fire Blast does. It does all but 2 HP damage. It was probably really upsetting for him, but I'm able to squeak off a head charge, and I don't exactly knock it out, but I leave it in prime killing range for something else. And because of how much that does, I figure that my Druddigon might maybe be able to take a Fire Blast, and if he misses, great, but if he doesn't, then hey. So I'm at like half HP. It's looking like I'm gonna die, and then it turns out I get another low damage roll, I guess, on his end or something like that, and I'm able to finish off with a Dragon Claw. That Specs Moltres is seriously a huge fucking threat in that tier. It scares the shit out of me. I've used it a couple times. It destroys a lot of stuff. But Prime's going to come in, and now I believe after he knocks out my Druddigon, all I have is a Galvantula, and he's got 3 pokes left, so it's not going to be looking too good for me in these coming turns. But he's going to go ahead and go into his Kabutops, I believe, as I bring it in. Galvantula did get Giga Drain, so now I have to pick a move to lock myself into. I cannot pick Thunder because if I do, that's an auto loss owing to Lantern. I don't know if he was expecting that, but I decide to pick Giga Drain because if I pick Giga Drain, I can knock out Kabutops immediately after, and Primeape is just gonna be a huge fucking problem. Now, what I was not expecting here is, well, first off, this Stone Edge miss came as a pleasant surprise, so I'm going to be able to get a Giga Drain off. But if I wanted to kill this thing off, I straight up would have just gone for an attack that had 100% accuracy, because Galvantula does happen to be pretty fragile. And he misses 2 Stone Edges, which really sucks, and it actually does end up costing him the game. That game, you know, in my completely honest opinion, should have been his. I just think he should have picked a different move at the end. Other than that, he played the rest of the game really nicely. Probably would have uploaded it either way. But that's how it ended up working out on that one. And yeah, Stone Edge, as we learned, can be a bitch. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you are welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, and do your thing. And that'll do it for this one. I got a couple other games sitting in here, maybe streaming in the next couple days. I haven't really decided yet, but we're kind of running low again, so it's getting to be around that time. So that's that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.